This is a pre-recorded training for the California School Climate, Health, and Learning Survey System. This is for the 2018 Survey Administration. This is brought to you by the Counseling and Guidance Department. Today's topics are going to cover the Cal Schools System, Building Healthy Communities, San Diego Unified School District Data Snapshot, the California Schools Administration, and all three subtests, some reports, and a few resources. All right, so the Cal Schools System is the largest, most comprehensive system of three interrelated surveys. It's developed and supported by the California Department of Education. The first one that we all know is the CHKS, the California Healthy Kids Survey, and that's what we give to elementary and secondary students, and only specific grades. And then we have the School Staff Survey, and then we have the School Parent Survey. And the purpose of Cal Schools is to provide a comprehensive, data-driven, decision-making process to guide efforts to improve school climate, learning supports, and engagement, as well as identify and increase the quality of health, prevention, and youth development programs. So part of these results goes towards legislation at the state level for funding for various programs to improve health, prevention, and youth development programs. The cool thing about the California Healthy Kids surveys and the whole California Schools survey system, is that results from the surveys get sent to the California Department of Education, which goes on our school dashboard. And so there's 4 local indicators, and those are the basic conditions, implementation of academic standards, school climate surveys, that's the big one, and then parent involvement and engagement. So what does it measure? Look in the center of the screen, you're going to see the School Climate Index. So every school gets this SCI, School Climate Index score. It goes from 100 to 500, and the average is 300. And if we look over here in the top right, one of the core measures is looking at violence, victimization, and substance abuse. That's further broken down into violence perpetration, violence victimization, harassment and bullying, substance use at school. So those 4 submeasures make up this core. And then if we look at the top left, another core measures, we're looking at supports, engagement, and safety. And so some of the questions on the California Healthy Kids survey specifically ask students about if they agree or strongly agree or disagree with having high expectations at school and caring relationships. Are there opportunities for meaningful participation? What is their perceived sense of school safety? And then do they feel connected? So school connectedness. And there's quite a bit of research out there that shows that the higher students feel connected to school, that correlates with higher rates of academic achievement. So in summary, for the LCAP, there's 4 of the 8 state priorities are measured: school climate, pupil engagement, parent involvement, and facilities. There are, with regards to the LCAP, it looks at numerical values and within high need subgroups. So we're looking at results disaggregated by ethnicity and race, English learners, students who qualify for free and reduced lunch, foster care youth, and then there are district selected items, and that could be things like smoker versus non-smoker or male versus female. So one of the second topics today was talking about building healthy communities, one of the main purposes of the California School Survey System. The California Endowment's mission is to expand access to affordable, quality health care for individuals in targeted communities and to promote fundamental improvements in the health status of all Californians. So building healthy communities, it's a 10-year strategic plan to really develop communities where kids and youth are healthy, safe, and ready to learn. And San Diego is one of only 14 communities in California that receives funding. And so part of the reason we do these surveys is because we want to look at these results to see where students are what they're thinking, and that way we can maintain this grant and hopefully get additional funding in the future. Hundreds of millions of dollars are invested to radically improve the health of each selected community. San Diego was chosen because the California Endowment saw that the city had a great need and, more importantly, a greater potential to succeed. So the Building Healthy Communities initiative aims to make California healthier, one community at a time. And the module collects data to monitor the progress of and inform the direction of the Building Healthy Communities initiative. So if we look at some of the data here at San Diego Unified, we can get a sense of where your school may fall in relation to some of the district averages. So the data we show here was based on the 2016-2017 California Healthy Kids Survey responses. This sample that we're looking at is based on 5th grade responses. And so the sample size was, the target was 8,425. About 5,500 students actually did it. And so we're looking at a 65% average response rate. And then if we look at the rates by the other grade levels, in 7th grade, the participation rate was 85%, 9th grade, 56%, 11th grade, 62%. And NT has a little, is that a postscript or subscript? It refers to continuation, community day, and other alternative school types. And so at those sites, we have a 62% participation rate. And so with the staff survey, we're looking at a total of 4,449 responses. And so at the elementary level, we have just over 2,000, in middle school, just under 1,000, and high school, just over 1,000. And NT also again refers to our continuation, community day, and other alternative school types. And that had 71 respondents. So if we look at one of the specific questions, it's what percentage of students said that at their school there is a teacher or other adult or a grown-up who cares about them. And in 5th grade, for students who answered yes most of the time, it was 25%. And for students who said yes all of the time, it's 58%. So I think 5th grade is doing a pretty good job, where 83% of the students say that there is a grown-up on campus who cares about them most or all of the time. So nice job, 5th grade. And then if we look at some of the rates in grade 7, grade 9, and grade 11, we look, it's 56%, and then 54%. And so we're looking at just a little over half of the students think there's an adult on campus that cares about them. Gets a little bit higher in 11th grade. And then in our continuation schools, again, it's about 2/3. And what percentage of staff said that nearly all or most staff really care about all students? And let's focus down here on this chart. And so this was the staff responses. And at the elementary school level, 93% of the staff said that adults care about students. Middle school, 86, high school, 87, and our alternative and continuation, 86. And we kept the student responses up here. That way you can do a quick comparison. Now the disparity between elementary is only 10%, which is relatively closed when you look at middle school, 56 and 86%. So there's a gap of 30%, 30 percentage points of what students believe and what adults believe. So there's definitely some opportunity there for alignment. The survey administration, the California Healthy Kids Survey folder. So in the California Healthy Kids Survey, we have the student survey. There's 3 school level versions. Elementary, it's grade 5. We have middle school and high school. Middle school is grade 7, high school is grade 9 and 11, and then again our continuation. We offer it in English, Spanish, and bilingual English-Spanish for elementary school. And the format is now online, which is a little bit easier when it comes to the data collection process. So part 1 of the data collection process is going to involve training the coordinator, the proctors, and the teachers. And the goal is to not only inform, but also to garner enthusiastic support. The biggest takeaway from this training is for you to know that the student voice matters, the parent voice matters, and the staff voice matters. The more input we can get from them, the better sense we can get of the climate at your school. Also, you're going to want to provide the teacher and proctor instructions, including the assurance of confidentiality form, and that's on the Cal Schools website. And then make sure a teacher or counselor or some health prevention specialist that you may have on campus is available to answer student questions, and that teachers know who that person is. So there's a form in there. It's to confirm passive consent, and that's when students want to opt out. So please track the opt-out forms for passive consent. And then we want you to confirm active consent for 4th and 5th graders. So track students whose parents never returned the parent consent form or declined participation. So part 2, the data collection, involves collecting all the signed confidentiality assurances, distribute all the materials. Remember, it's an online administration, so you're going to want to pass out the URL and school code. Provide staff logins and passwords. Again, pass out the URL and school code. And then the parent survey is paper-based, and it's also web-based, and that's going to be distributed through the district TK through 12 families. On the web-based versions, it is available in English and Spanish. Part 3 of data collection involves administering the survey to students. Again, it's online. Provide help from logging in if necessary. Please read the survey script as it is and make sure everyone understands, and really hammer this point that every student understands that the survey is not a test. Their responses are anonymous, and we want them to feel comfortable of being their authentic selves. And be available for questions, but please do not walk around the room. All right, we're going to use a few slides just to go over a few samples of screenshots. So here's a good informational letter that can be used, that you hand out to your students. And it's nice because it provides contact information, tell them when they have access. It also gives them a statement of why this is important. And then it's got the URL down at the bottom there. So when you get to the elementary survey and you type your name in, this is what the login screen will look like. And then from there, you'll just click on Take Survey. And here's a screenshot of what the high school survey looks like. And again, it gives students a description of what it is and why we're doing it. And then they're allowed to take it in English, or they can do it in Spanish. And they can just go ahead and click Start Survey when they're ready. So the staff survey. This is administered to certificated and classified staff, and all the surveys are offered in English. It is voluntary, but it's also very important. Again, your voice matters, and we want to hear from you. It can be completed in one session. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes or so to complete, and there's going to be a 60-day window. The core survey asks about staff and student relationships, their perceptions of student risk behaviors, their perceptions of the school connectedness and external assets, what parent involvement looks like, after-school program and student assistance programs. It looks at efforts to reduce risk factors. Ask about if resources are available to students, and then also about staff safety and student safety. What's nice is there's also a learning supports module, and for practitioners with health, prevention, safety, and counseling responsibilities, it does have information about school services, resources, and policies related to student behavior, health, and the overall climate, items on discipline enforcement, the extent of youth development, health, AOD, character education, violence, and harassment programs, and resources for safety and prevention priorities, and professional development, and also school community collaboration. So the data collection part on the staff survey, a good strategy is to heavily communicate that the survey's out and it's ready for staff to begin completing. A couple examples: you can email, you can also put items in the staff mailboxes, and also hand out things at staff meetings. Really encourage the high participation rate. Have the principal communicate the importance of taking the staff survey. You could provide release time for staff to take the survey. Make computers available, so remove any technology barriers you may have. You can offer incentives and maybe even conduct a raffle, and each person's raffle ticket is the confirmation page that they completed the survey. So the parent survey, this is really nice because we get to allow our parents to have a voice in their perceptions of what's going on at the school as it relates to connectedness and climate and safety. And so it looks at school communication, the school parent being partners in the child's education. It looks to see if students are treated fairly, with respect, and given equal opportunities, regardless of race or ethnicity. It asks about high expectations for student success and availability of rigorous classes, and also about the amount of drug use, violence, or truancy. So the survey window opens March 14th, 2018, and closes May 25th, 2018. Closes May 25th, 2018. There was a survey coordinator training back on Thursday, March 22nd at the Ballard Center, both in the morning and the afternoon. And the Counseling and Guidance Department is spearheading this effort for the California Healthy Kids Survey and the staff survey. The FACE team is committed to having each school reach its goal of a minimum of 40% return rate of parent surveys. So sites, please work with your parent groups or even just single parents, and really push to get these surveys completed. We really want to hear their voices. If you do want a paper copy, we have many languages available. As you can see here on the list, Arabic, Eastern Armenian, English, Chinese, simplified and traditional, Spanish, Korean, Russian, Somali, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Farsi. And then online, we have English, Spanish, and Chinese. So for the parent survey, the surveys will be distributed to each school by our distribution services on your delivery day. FACE will develop a letter to all principals to accompany the survey. And there are a couple options in order to distribute the survey. So you can provide an online link on a piece of paper that goes home with the students in their backpacks. And surveys can be distributed during parent events also. School staff will need an alpha roster to keep track of who has been given surveys, but this is a option. And then you want to distribute the rest of the surveys based on the names on the roster. So when you're all finished, all survey materials need to be returned to the Ed Center, room 2116 at the end of the testing window. Please contact Catherine Aud at kaud@sandy.net if you need to coordinate a pickup schedule. And all surveys will be sent for processing to West Ed from the Ed Center, the District Ed Center. So when we're looking at collaboration between parents and community agencies, maximizing on established partnerships with community agencies to enhance the importance of the survey and parent voice. So we are trying to leverage our community partners to promote parent participation. We've communicated with libraries in order to promote the surveys, and we think it's important for you guys to communicate with established parent groups like PTOs and ELACs and DLACs, and engage with agencies that are serving your school already to enhance awareness of the survey within the community. Here's just a couple ideas if you want to incentivize parent participation. Every parent that turns in a completed parent survey will get a raffle ticket. Parents at every school are eligible and encouraged to complete a parent survey regardless of their child's grade level. And then you could have winners selected at random from all the return parent surveys the district receives. There will be a minimum of 5 winning tickets selected, and each winner will receive a gift card for $100 sponsored by the school site. You could also get gift cards from organizations towards raffles if you have those kind of partnerships. But here's a sample idea in order to incentivize and increase the parent participation at your school. So the California Healthy Kids Survey reports. So we get district level reports. We also get individual school level reports, and those get sent to each site. And then the reports are disaggregated. And so it breaks it down by ethnicity and race, English learners, free and reduced lunch, foster care youth, and then there's other district selected items like smokers versus non-smokers. And they also, using a number of responses from questions on the survey, they're able to produce a school climate report card. So here's the district school climate report card for middle school. This is what it looks like. If you look at the top here, San Diego Unified, number of schools, so 40 schools participated out of 62 in 2015. And it looks like we went down in 2016 and back up in 2017. And the average response rate a couple years ago was 90%, and it's slowly decreased. So we're really pushing to get that back up. Hearing the student voice is important because if we can improve the climate and experience of our students at our sites, then that might encourage more students to want to come to San Diego Unified Schools. And then here we have a district school climate index. And this index is kind of like your overall score, and it's broken down by these subscales. And you can see the subscales here. Feel free to hit pause if you'd like to look closer at some of these numbers. They may be a little difficult to read here, but if you know this is 300, this is 350, you can kind of see where the numbers lie. This is the district school climate report card for high school. And again, we started at 27 out of 43 schools that participated a few years ago, and we've decreased, so we want to see that go back up. And our response rate a few years back was 76%, and it's decreased to 70%. And again, for the high school, just like on the middle school, it gives a district school climate index, and it's broken down by all these subscales. And here are just a few snapshots of some bar charts and data regarding to specific questions. And so when it's asking about in the topic of caring relationships, does someone really care about me? And it's broken down by parents' education level. And here we'll just look at 7th grade as an example. And so for parents who have no high school degree, 56% of the students said it's pretty much true or very much true that someone really cares about me. And then as we move higher in parents' education level, we notice like with parents with a college degree, 67% said it was pretty much true or very much true, or 67% of the students said it was pretty much true or very much true that someone really cares about them. And if we look down here by students' living situation, so whether they're foster, homeless, or other, so if we go to grade 9, pretty much true or very much true, 44% of students who identify as homeless said someone really cares about them. So there's definitely an opportunity there to use this information to see how can we engage and connect with our homeless and foster students more to create a better and trusting and safer environment for them at school. And here, these charts are very nice because they're disaggregated by these various methods. And so this one is disaggregated by the free and reduced lunch. And it looks at students who do not have free and reduced lunch, those who do, and those who don't know. It looks at students' responses on the same question about caring relationships. Does someone really care about me? And asking about their English proficiency status. And so English only, English proficient, or not English proficient. And then if you notice those who are not English proficient, they tend to not believe that someone really cares about them at school. If you'd like, please pause this presentation so you can take a closer look, but it's broken down by sexual orientation here and then gender identity here. All right, CalSchool's some of the resources. So there's a data workshop. It's about 2 to 5 hours on site, and it's useful to be able to interpret your data, to set goals and plan next steps. There's also student listening circles that CalSchools can do for you. It's about 4 to 5 hours on site, and they do an orientation and description of the process, an orientation and student practice. There's a listening circle, a dialogue between students and adults, and then it leads to some action items and next steps. There's also a combination data workshop and student listening circle, and that's a full day, all-day event. And then they also have a school climate and wellness partnership. But if you're interested in these types of workshops or trainings, then we encourage you to let us know, and we'll possibly work together to see if this could be an opportunity for you at your site. We're here to support you here in the Department of Counseling and Guidance. Our phone number is 619-725-7330. We have administrative support from Lisa Sheldon and Eddie Nall. Both their emails are provided, and our district, California Healthy Kids Survey Coordinator, is Dr. Noemi Villegas, and her email's there. Thank you, and we encourage all of you to really push for obtaining those student voices. Their voice matters so much. Again, it's their experience on a daily basis. Also, obtain the voices of your staff. They can provide some valuable input. And then obtain the voices from your parents. They are some of our biggest partners and some of our best help. So thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed this presentation. Please let us know if you have any questions.